What's up, party people? Me and Victor Gonzalez get down with some nitty gritty lead generation tactics, things you can actively do starting today to quit making mistakes and start adding at least a couple $100,000 of bottom line revenue to your business every year if you listen and take action on the stuff we're giving you. And there's even a special gated part at the very end of this interview where we give you 5 actionable tactics you can take today to go make money today, which you don't see very much of on a YouTube video. So make sure you watch through the entire thing and enjoy Victor Gonzalez's interview.
And so now the price per call just makes it damn near impossible to be profitable on them. Like even if you're closing at a high rate, you're still not going to be profitable on them.
Yeah, if you don't have a solid front end with like purchasers and you're upselling stuff on the back end, cross-selling on the back, there's no profit to be made. And unfortunately, people just don't understand marketing in the insurance world.
Yeah.
They just want to buy leads and like, dude, you have no margin. You do not make enough per customer. You're never going to get off this hamster wheel, and only the people who understand marketing are ever going to do anything with it. So
100%, man.
let's get this started. So welcome, guys. It's been a while since I've interviewed people on the old YouTube channel. So we got my good buddy Victor Gonzalez. I'm sure you guys remember him from that. And then you did the 30-day summit with me, by far the biggest event in the insurance industry. Got over 5,000 people to register for that live, which haven't seen anyone else pick up those types of numbers. So very happy with that. So thanks for being a part of that, man. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man. Thanks for having me back.
You as well. So we got a couple things in store. Then we got a private training just for you guys on the YouTube that we're gonna offer you later, like really tactical stuff on things you can do to move the needle and make money today. Actually, not make money, but receive it. You're not the government, so you can't make money, but you can receive it. You can earn it. So Victor and myself are gonna help you do some things, some really cool tactics that can help you print dollars today. Okay, you can print profits today. So, Victor, my first question for you is, we both know how many people are pushing outdated strategies and overpriced vendor leads and $20,000 fucking setups for lead generation. I didn't know it cost. Victor, have you ever charged someone 20 grand to come in and help them push buttons on a Facebook ad
No,
campaign?
no, absolutely not.
What do you think about these charlatans?
I think I mean, it's a horrible way to do business, but at the same time, you do have agents who are susceptible to paying for it. So I understand why
It's
they do.
always the most gullible. Stop doing that. Go get with Victor or come book a consulting call with me. Congratulations. I just saved you 16,000, 15,000, $20,000. You'd get more out of spending 5 grand with Victor and myself than spending 15, 20 grand to people who are just gonna fucking push the same ads they're running for everyone else, the same copy they run for everyone. Cookie cutter approaches do not work. So Victor, why are people still cold calling and like where are they really messing up on the lead side of things? Because everyone knows, first off, you have to know how to have conversations with people. But I don't care. I pride myself on my communication. I've spent about 200 grand learning to communicate conversational hypnosis. But if I'm talking to myself, then what good does it do, right? Like you have
Yep.
to have leads to talk to. We all
Yep.
know, you and I both know, the listener watching this knows, you got to have leads to sell to. Okay, so where are they making these mistakes?
Yeah, so I think the first part is always going to be it's the pre-work to purchasing leads. And this is what a lot of agents don't do. So before you ever go into and I think we've spoke about this in the past too. The biggest mistake agents make is like they'll go into a Facebook group and be like, what's everyone using for leads? Like, what's the best lead vendor? And then they all get the same answers, or they get like a small mix of like the same massive lead vendors that are doling out, these shared leads to everyone. And it's like, if you're an agent, why would you want to go to where everyone else is at? You're in a saturated market going to the same vendor that everyone's recommending. That's not what you should be doing. And so I think the pre-work that comes into actually purchasing leads is the most important part to lead up to the success of everything else. So that's one, doing research to find lead vendors on your own, not just, recommended vendors from people who may suck at selling leads. And, me and Mason were talking about this. We were talking about this earlier. There's a lot of agents that work under the pretense that like they'll operate their business on a loss the entire year in hopes that at the end of the year they hit a bonus so that they can be profitable.
That's not a
And
business, that's a nonprofit.
yeah,
That's hoping and praying.
they're running at losses. And so for them, it's okay because if they do hit the bonus is typically enough to get them over the edge. But most agents don't operate under that. Like they can't operate like that. And so if you're taking advice on lead vendors and lead strategies from someone who is operating a business that's not even profitable, they're setting you up for failure. And so, doing the work on the front end of actually researching lead vendors and then compiling a list of lead vendors and marketers that are reputable, that are proven, and that have a lead strategy that aligns with what your ideal client looks like and what you're trying to accomplish, that's where it starts. First, you have to compile the list. After you compile a list, then you want to interview these vendors. And when you're going in to interview these vendors, what you want to do is you want to have a list of like what your ideal client looks like, age range, health, marital status, like
What do you
any other.
mean client qualifications? What are you talking about, Victor? No one does this shit.
Dude, like it's these are things that you can filter in leads. If you're purchasing leads on a one-by-one basis, like these are things you can filter out with lead vendors. And this is what people don't understand. It's like you can go to a lead vendor and I'm going to talk on the PNC side, right? So if I know that my ideal client, let's say I'm an Allstate agent and my ideal client is 55 and older, married, retired homeowner in, Sarasota, Florida. Like I could go to a lead vendor and say, I need every single lead that you have that comes in with these five filters. And if you can't get me like every single one or you don't have enough, like then I'm not going to work with you. If you're not going to give me those filters, it's fine. You move on to the next one. That's why you compile a list of researched vendors to interview. Now, when you have those five filters and they're like, yeah, we can give you like two a day, that hits all these targets, say, awesome. Like I want it exclusive. I don't want you to sell it to me shared. And it's worth taking the extra cost to just make sure that you have it for at least the next 45 to 60 days to yourself and they're not reselling it to other agents, at least during that 45-day period. Most vendors operate also under the pretense that after 45 days, they're selling it as an aged lead. 45 to 60 days. But we also know in the typical sales cycle, if you don't close business on the first call, after 45 days, that's typically when you're going to close business because you're not going to talk to them up until about that 45 to 60-day mark. So even if they resell it as a shared lead, you should be able to close it within that time period. And then if you're good at servicing, then you can retain it when they get resold as an aged lead. So that's like what needs to be done that no one does. They just like kind of like if they have a company that gives. And here's another thing too. So I'm going to spill the beans. So there's a captive agency. I'm not going to name their name on the PNC side. And now what they've done is they're like, shit, I want my hands in on this money game, on this lead game too. And so what they do is they assign these account managers from their captive company. I'm not going to name the company. And what they do is they say, this person's going to purchase leads for you. And we've negotiated discounted rates with these lead vendors. So you get them at a cheaper price. And so it removes the agent. They think it's like an easier job for them now. They're like, oh, we're getting a discount and someone's going to buy it, the leads for me on behalf of me. Guess what? You think that those negotiated rates aren't giving the company, you think they're not getting paid per lead that gets purchased? Of course they are. They're getting paid. They're getting paid for every lead that you buy, even at a discounted rate because they're being sold at a multiple. And so now you're losing all control because you've given up your targeting and control to an account manager who is essentially a salesperson on behalf of the corporate company that's supposed to be on your side. They're trying to make their money too. So they're going to tell you, just like any account manager from a lead vendor, they're going to try to get you to spend more money. And the only way to spend more money because there's only so many quantity if there's filters, right? Like the more filters you put, that means you have a targeted like clientele you're trying to reach. And the more filters you put, the less quantity of people there are that are available searching that hit those filters. So when you have salespeople who are trying to make more money off of you, what are they going to try to do? They're going to strip those filters to get you to spend more. And then they're going to try to play the quantity game with you, right? The numbers game. They're going to try to get you to spend more money, buy more leads, to have more opportunities to sell. So it's always better to work directly with the vendor in order to like have full control over who it is that you're buying, who it is you're trying to target, and have full control over the process. Even if it costs you a little more money, you're going to have a significantly higher opportunity and a higher closing ratio because you have more control over who it is that you're trying to reach.
Absolutely. And what you just said is paramount because the more control you give up, the less money you're going to make. because you're essentially you're de-risking yourself, which, hey, you're a human. No one talks about the why we do these things. And once you understand, once you become aware of your internal processes, these are known as like bugs in the brain. In psychology, they're called biases, things like cognitive bias. If your whole career, if the beginning of your career, you opt in, you become an agent, you get recruited, and you get that degree, the license, you think that's the finishing line. Cognitive dissonance and all this stuff starts going. I'm not going to break down all the bugs, but it's just now you think that they told you that leads will make you successful. So your whole career, you're thinking the more leads I have, the more success I have, and that's just not true. That having 1,000 of the wrong people is never going to work. And so there's a couple different things you can do to counteract what Victor's talking about, because a lot of you are going to go into Facebook groups and ask what everyone's doing. Here's what you're going to get: lies by omission. They're not going to tell you where their honey holes are or what they did when they were where you were in the business, when they were scrapping for their dollar, when they were bootstrapping their way to being profitable. They weren't fucking doing all this stuff. They don't have an AI agent booking their calls. They don't tell you that they're spending 10 grand a month on paid ads and another 5 grand a month on software that cold calls their leads for, because they have the ability to do that now, and they're just telling you they're just getting out there and doing the work. And so it's lies by omission, for one. So if you are going to play the volume game and try to work against these other agents, solve an initial customer problem before asking them for money. What does that mean? Most of your leads are probably getting blown up by agents who can't close the door, and that goes into the getting married on the first date thing. If you went on a date with a girl or a guy and he said, "Okay, you have 3 dates and then we have to get married," you're like, Why? Why do we have to get married on the third date? What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you on menopause at 20? Like, what's going on? Why do we have to get married within the first 3 dates? You probably wouldn't go spend money or go on another date with that person. Yet agents do it all the time, and we expect people to fork over their hard-earned dollars when in a time where bags of chips are $5, eggs are 10, and milk is fucking 4. And you think people are just happy to spend 80 to $100 a month on an insurance policy? No, they don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you. When they hear insurance, they are reminded constantly of all the pain of being called. I get about 70 spam calls a day. My phone is on do not disturb permanently. I've had to change my phone number multiple times because I get spammed. I opted into a symmetry agent stuff. I've been solicited by 13 fucking health agents, and I put my name with Tina in there to remember which funnel. I've gotten about 400 people to call me saying, "Tina, your health insurance, Tina, your retirement." It's like, how many times has this lead been fucking sold? And I just tell all of them, "Hey, do you want to deal with a TCPA like lawsuit? Are you able to afford 10 grand?" So take your customers and put them on the do not disturb list. And when you solve that problem for them, because they had a positive association, we're going to deploy cognitive bias on your side. Oh, hey, because they stopped this major depressing problem I have, maybe they can actually help me. And congratulations, you just made a front end sale and a back end sale. That's why a lot of you don't make enough money, like Victor's talking about, and you don't make enough per customers because you have no back end sales. You do not even have a sales process. Reading from your precious script that your fucking upline gave you that have never sold a policy, that just recruit people, they're Nazis. They're just following orders, following the chain of command. What do you think about all this, Victor? What do you think about it, man?
Dude, I mean, my biggest issue is that like a lot of people don't realize that sales is just having a conversation. It's just being able to be real with someone, just being
Oh
honest with
my
them, talking to
God.
them like they're your friend, actually caring about someone, creating a policy that like is making sense for the person and not your own pockets. And it's like that across all lines, life, health. I mean, I don't know about health. I don't sell health, but like life and P&C side, like dude, I see so many agents that struggle because they just don't know how to like have a simple conversation and just be like human with someone. Just be human. That's all it takes. Be able to like build rapport with someone, actually find out what someone needs in life. And like and on the life side, like don't even get me started. Like most agents are just there to recruit. They don't even know how to sell. I mean, if anyone who's watching this has like followed me on Facebook, you've probably seen me like annihilate life agents a million times over because they get recruited in and their only job is to recruit more in hopes that the people that they recruit sell
Actually
life
sell.
insurance, and so that they can make money doing nothing except for recruiting. But the problem is you're in this endless cycle of recruiting, 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 and no one knows how to fucking sell. And so that's the issue I have with like the life agency side of things. But I think if just like if life insurance just connected with someone who knew what they were doing and put people first, like genuinely cared about the people that they're working with, you would make so much money. It'd be an
Yeah,
endless, like you'd have an endless check, a blank check every month just by like caring about people. That's all it takes, you know?
yeah, let
It's
me just validate what you're saying because the quality of your commissions is directly dependent on the quality of your communication. The better your communication, the better quality of prospects you can have. Let me tell you this. So I'm just now getting relicensed after how many. Well, I've been unlicensed for a year, so all that stuff's ready to go. Just getting that back up. I have a an email list of just funnel world people from my like masterminds I've been in, people doing eight, nine figures plus. I've got three annuity appointments booked up for people who have trusted me. I've came in, I've done their funnels, I've consulted with them over the last couple of years. Those three annuities alone, we're looking at about 14 million in assets. In my contract I just signed for my annuities, I'll get about 7 to 9% of that. Three fucking people are going to make me more money in those sales than most insurance agents will make across an entire lifetime or a career, simply because I cared enough to do work on the front end, simply because I cared enough to level up my communication in a way that I can talk to really smart people and solve really advanced problems. So yes, you have to learn to sell. Okay? And the problem with selling is like I said a while ago, no one takes the time to understand why agents don't want to sell. Well, mommy and daddy grew up telling you not to trust salespeople, not to trust strangers, and they taught you selling is bad. And because you have this preconceived notion that selling is bad, you're never going to want to be good at something that you think makes you bad. And so you're purposely going to self-sabotage and just go recruit people and hope they sell and hopes you make money, like Victor said. That's not the case. Selling, I think we have to get rid of this word in the industry because unfortunately, it's like when Edward Bernays, when the word propaganda got a negative connotation, he called it public relation, and now every fucking politician uses it. But it has a positive association with it. And so if you look at where the root word selling comes from, it comes from the word servant. And insurance agents are not servants. You're not out there being slaves for people. You're out there communicating the needs. And it comes down to people do not buy policies from the best agent. People buy policies from the best sounding agent. And let me break this down for you, Victor. If you're walking down the road and you see two lemonade stands, and one says delicious lemonade, and the other one says yellow water with sugar in it, which one do you buy?
oh, delicious all day
Why?
because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a
Because
delicious
it
lemonade.
sounded better. Delicious lemonade versus yellow water with sugar. And life insurance for most people is yellow water with sugar in it. However, when I say, hey, when you work with me, you'll make sure your family gets tax-free money, avoid probate, the government, Uncle Sam's not going to dip in and take half of it like you would with your retirement and all this stuff, and your family's never going to have to worry about anything. They're like, oh, it's a no-brainer. Not once did I call it life insurance. And so people buy products that sound good, not good products. Okay, so get that through your head. And the only way you can communicate that is, well, communicating that. You have to be good at communicating things. How do you think presidents persuade people? They communicate a message about where they're going to take the country, a forward vision, a purpose. It's so funny that they communicate in like third grade reading levels, and you get these red-blooded Americans, they're like, no taxes. Yeah. Like it's so funny. It's like communicate like a president would. Third grade reading level and just tell them how insurance is going to solve their problem. Victor, what's the most common thing agents waste money on that do not get results?
Oh my God.
You're like, can I only pick one?
Dude, there's a laundry list. I mean, there's so many things, man. From the
What's okay,
marketing.
let me rephrase that question to be more
Okay.
specific. What is the one thing they need to stop buying right now, stop doing right now, so they can actually start getting results?
Technology. Stop like anything AI. Like you guys have too many you have too many holes in your business to be trying to chase the shiny objects. Like learn how to sell first. Your like agents needs to they need to invest into coaching for themselves. I think every if any serious insurance agent who owns an agency, they should be investing into a business coach that can teach them how to actually like structure a business the proper way. Investing into yourself is always going to be the number one investment that you can make. Not hiring an AI agent that's going to sit there and try to make calls for you, like not trying to hire, create all these bots and wasting time. Like if you're not even making money and you're trying to spend money on things to like be automated and you don't even know how to sell your own product, like that's probably the number one like most frustrating thing I see in agents right now. It's like everyone wants the AI agents. They want all these things. It's like, dude, you don't even pick up the phone yourself to call and make money for yourself. So invest into a coach, learn how to actually structure your business, get that mentorship that you need. So all the places that you lack, someone can be a sounding board to tell you, hey, this is where you should be looking and trying to align your business. And I think a lot of people have too much of an ego to want to bring on a mentor
Well, it's
or
the negative self-admittance. When you get someone to admit they have a problem, it makes them feel bad, and we do everything we can to avoid feeling bad. So if you can make things not their fault, and so let me just tell you right now, insurance agents, I'm going to use a very well-known sales and marketing tactic, and I'm going to make it not your fault. It's not your fault that someone lied to you and told you leads are the keys to success and just keep buying leads and stay on the hamster wheel. No, you actually have to learn to communicate. You can't just come in here and recruit and build a team and expect to be successful. You can't throw shit at the wall and expect it to smell good. You can't cover a turd with gold polish and expect people to want to buy it. And so, if you want to learn to communicate, I'll give you one of my, this is something I sold for $8,000 for years. I'll just give it to you for free. It's a reframe document. As a part of the big coaching program I had, I will teach you to turn objections into reasons why they should do business with you and no one else. You can have that absolutely no cost to you. Just go to, I'll put that as a link in the description below. See how I just pitched something and made it not your fault about why I gave you justification. Blair Warren has a quote. He says, people will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and cast rocks at their enemies. What do you hear me and Victor doing right now on this podcast? Wow, like we are marketing first and foremost. Like, let's not make any sleight of hand or bait and switch. I'm not going to do that. I I want your money because where your treasure goes, your heart follows. And when you pay for things, you listen to them. You listen to them, okay? So listen to Victor. He's a smart dude. Listen to me. I'm a smart dude. We know what we're doing. And if you're below 100K a month in revenue, if you're making less than 20K a month in commissions and you're not out where you want to be in seemingly the most obvious, easiest industry out there, because everyone else is failing. So all you have to do is learn one thing. You have to take a season of being bad, and then you can have whatever you want. Oh my God. It, just click the link down below, okay? Subscribe. Listen to what me and Victor are saying. Please stop buying fucking AI. Because you're not using it the right way. I have an AI tool. Once again, I'll give you for free. You plug in your sales call transcripts and it tells you where to lost the sale. And here's the best part. I coded it to where it gives you a follow-up message to send to that person to help you recover the sale. Congratulations, Victor and I just made you money. What are you going to do with it? Okay? I demand that you go subscribe to both of us right now. Victor has his own YouTube channel. What's it called? Click Rush?
no, mine is my name. So youtube.com/Victor Julian Gonzalez.
So I'm going to post a thing below where you can go subscribe to him if you want help with AI and Google management and all that stuff and getting your business listed for free leads because you're probably, if I had to guess, like you're like 99% of insurance agents and you don't have a strong presence. But guess what? People do business with people they what, Victor? They know, like, and
Trust.
wow, it's like we're on the same wavelength. It sounds so obvious, and you know that, but here's the thing. What's the most obvious is typically what we ignore the most. Okay, so this is just an easy reminder. Your local business, your local surroundings is one of the easiest places to market because you have familiarity. And what doesn't stand out is not detected. And what is not detected is not rejected. If the customer detects the sales process, the customer rejects the sales process. We reject vehemently what we are told. We never doubt what we ourselves conclude. If someone Googles insurance near me and they find you, they're more likely to buy a policy. Correct, Victor? So go
100%.
use Victor's stuff on his channel to get listed. Go reach out to him. I'll have a link for all of his stuff below. And speaking, while we're on this, talk to us about how you help agents show up on Google, because that's one of the easiest things is intent-based search. They're hot and ready. They're in
Yeah.
heat. So please,
Yeah.
like, let's hear it, Victor. I'm interested myself.
Yeah, so one our core service that we work on, and it's all by design because this is where the internet is in 2025. It's all local based search. And I think a lot of AI that's coming in, when you look at like Search GPT, which is Chat GPT's search engine, you look at Google now doing AI overviews, so you look at just all the shift that's happening on the internet when it comes to search and intent. Everything is moving to a local based type of search. And anyone who's running paid advertising moving forward, especially as ChatGPT, SearchGPT, AI overviews, as they start to expand over the next, I'd say 12 to 18 months, paid advertising is going to be almost irrelevant. It really is. If you look at the statistics right now, I think it's like 97% of all conversions that happen online happen on organic searches. So that means like 3% is going to paid. So you're spending more to get a very, very small population that's actually searching stuff, you know. So with that being said, we've moved to a local based marketing that focuses on like the lowest hanging fruit, like the opportunities that are there, ripe for the taking, very easy to get, but no one's making use of it. And so what we do is we focus on Google Business Profiles. And the reason why is because Google Business Profile is tied to both your website, which is ranks for Google search, and Google Maps, which has its own rankings.
Yep.
So you're getting two different search engines through Google Business Profile that you can essentially achieve success on both sides for both Google search rankings and Google Maps. And so Google Maps is 100% intended to be a local forward-facing profile for you. It is not intended to be. I see a lot of agents who try to like in their service areas on Google Business Profile, they try to put like multiple states. It's like, dude, you're hurting yourself because Google Business Profile is only going to be rewarded for local based businesses. So you want to keep it as local as possible. And so we focus on that. And what we do is we optimize your Google Business Profile. And so with that, it's making sure that your primary categories are correct, your descriptions are correct, your photos are relevant, your all your information across your website, your Google Business Profile, your updates and statuses, everything is consistent. Not only that, but we handle your listings and citations management. And so with that, that's important too, because there's something called NAP, and that's a name, address, and phone. And that is like one of the most important indicators across the internet on how you rank. And the reason why is because they want to make sure that like when they're referring someone to you organically, that your information is consistent across the entire internet. So when you're listed on multiple websites, directories, listings, all those things, if there's inconsistencies in your phone number, inconsistencies in your business name, inconsistencies on your website, maybe you change addresses and you change it on Google, but you don't change it on Yelp, you don't change it on Yellow Pages, you don't change it on Data Axle as like a aggregator, you don't change it on all these different places. Now you have inconsistencies across the internet, and Google doesn't like that. So it's hurting your rankings, which is why you're not getting organic leads, why you're not getting organic searches, why you're not getting more people on the internet searching for what you offer to go to you, because you're basically invisible at that point because Google's saying we're not going to show you, right? So when it comes to local, like Google Business Profile for us is like it's the gold mine, and it's not just about generating leads. It's also about the social proof. And so when you like Mason, when you're looking for a new restaurant to check out, what's the first thing you do?
Google.
You're probably going to Google it, right? And then once you're on Google
Hey,
and
like best
restaurant
places
name,
to eat near me.
and then you
Those are
have,
that's the literal phrase. And then I look
yeah,
for the most stars first off
that's
because there's safety in groupthink. Not, What's so funny is when you're aware of the psychological exploits of our brain, it makes it work even more because you're like when I know someone's selling me something, if I don't like them, I don't allow them to sell to me. But when someone likes me and I catch them selling to me, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to buy from you. So it's so funny. Yeah, I look for the most because that's the safety in numbers. You're like, 900 people said this place was good, and two people said this one was good. Which one should I trust?
Yep. And here's the thing, right? So like reviews, and I teach this a lot. Reviews help for your rankings on Google search. They don't help for Google Maps. And so there's there's still an importance there because even on Google search, you're basically trying to rank your website against the entirety of the internet. On Google Maps, you're just going against everyone who's local to you. You have a much higher chance of succeeding on that. But reviews are so important because of the social proof. So even though it doesn't help with rankings, when people are looking for restaurant near me and then they find one and they pull up your profile, the next natural thing that they do is they look at the reviews to see what other people are saying about you. So reviews are important from that aspect because it's going to give the social proof that what you offer is good because other people are saying it. And I think the number was like 86% of people make a purchasing decision before they ever reach a website or anything based on the reviews that they read. So it's
Well,
important.
here, yeah, and just to explain what you're saying, and then I'll ask you, what is the number one problem you solve with your service? Guys, as humans, we are primed to take the path of least resistance. Your brain is like a 7-year-old. It doesn't make judgments. It takes what you say uncritically. Its job is to keep itself alive, first and foremost. That is the job of any organism, is to survive long enough to reproduce. If you don't believe me, go read The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins. It'll teach you a lot about sales. So we want to de-risk ourselves as much as possible. And so when we see safety in numbers, when we see like testimonials, we're saying, oh, it doesn't only, Mason's coaching doesn't only work for Mason, it also works for Victor. And that's why I have, if you go to a lot of my funnels, it's like 1,000 testimonials. You just got to scroll through. You're like, Jesus Christ, Mason, I want to stop. But it's there for a reason because you're like, interesting. You're unconsciously saying 1,000 people have done this. There's no risk at all to me joining his program. I'm saying, duh. I've serviced over 4,000 customers across the entire world, and hey, not all of them can be wrong. And let's be real, most of them just sucked at selling. Nothing, guys, when a lot of your customers don't get results, you think it's your fault, but let me just let you off the hook. Your customers are kind of dumb. Okay? Your customers got themselves in that situation in the first place, but because mommy and daddy told you that only you can solve other people's problems and only other people can solve your problems, we have a bunch of people pleasers going around. Victor, I don't know if your childhood was like this, but I grew up hearing these two phrases, you'd better or else. Did you ever hear that growing up? You'd better
Uh,
or else. And what that teaches you as a kid is conditional love. If I do not meet these conditions, mommy and daddy, my favorite people in the world, will not love me. And then we grow up to be people pleasers, thinking we got to go be the savior for everyone else, and other people got to be the saviors for us. Let people rise up to the plate to solve their own problems. And when you can communicate in a way that does that, people will follow you like you're a cult leader. Okay? And so this is the psychological reason why what Victor's saying should be taken with the not with a grain of salt, but like with a grain like what's a big container? With like a shipping container of ocean water. That's how much weight what he's saying has. Okay? And keep in mind, we're not selling you nothing on here. We're giving you real shit that no one else wants to tell you. I don't want to sell you some $16,000 lead generation problem when you can barely afford fucking food for the day. It just doesn't make sense for us. It's not in my best interest because I know I'm not going to get you results. It's just it Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but that's a conversation for another day. If you do want to get to 40, 50K a month in sales, go book a call with me below and I promise you I can get you there. Okay? I can get you there. Go work with Victor on getting your business Google Victor, what is the biggest problem that your service solves? Like why should they do this?
to make it as simple as possible, I'll put it on one word: visibility. Online to get you seen. That's all it is. That's what we're doing. And there's a lot that's that comes with it, right? We're doing your optimization of your profile. We're doing the reputation management. So we're helping you get more reviews and we're responding to all of them. We're doing weekly content posting for you. We're doing uh, we're doing the reputation management, the content posting. We're doing press releases for you. So we're getting you seen. We're doing the citations and listings management. So we're helping you keep your business visible and consistent across the entire internet and getting you placed into more directories, websites, and receiving more citations. Like we're doing A through Z, everything to get you more visibility, which leads to more opportunities, whether that be inbound calls to your business, more website visitors, chats, people chatting in to talk to you, like getting calls booked. Like we're getting you more visibility online locally. And we all know if it's local and it's organic, it's going to be high intent, right?
Yep.
And that's what we do. The core piece is visibility. It's not lead generation. It's not, you know, sales. It's none of these things. It's not coaching. Like we can offer all that and we do all that naturally within the process because at the end of the day, I have the mindset that if I can't help you make money, you're not going to continue to do business with me. So it's mutually
Wow,
beneficial.
what a concept. What a
It,
strange concept.
like that's the part that people don't understand, and I think that's what separates us also is that like I'm also an insurance agent. I know how it goes, man. I know how tough it is. We want to make sure that it's mutually beneficial. If you want to do business with us, we want to keep you. We want your money, and we want you to make more money so that you can keep paying us money. That's how this works. We're in it to both be aligned to help you win. Because when you win, we win. And when we win, we grow and we can help more people and we can offer more things. So yeah, very strange concept, I know.
Yeah, God forbid the customer gets some value. God forbid you get what you pay for in a program. That's hysterical to me. You'll go spend $15,000 on a program, and if it doesn't work, it's all your fault. It blows my mind when their process was just screwed in the first place. And it reminds me of something you just said. Uh, you said advertising is going to kind of be obsolete, and I have to butt heads with you here because I think tradition running some cheap fucking $20 a day Facebook ad, $100 a day Facebook ad, that shit's gonna be dead. You're trying to compete with people like me who can go spend 5, 10 grand a day and afford to eat the loss because I know within 90 days I'm gonna recoup. So I can afford to swallow that negative for a longer period of time. And Dan Kennedy says whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer wins the game of advertising. Well, when you're trying to spend $20 a day and I'm spending $1,000 a day, I can afford to outbid you 10,000 to 1. And so you're going to have to pay $100 just to even get a lead and outbid me. And that's just not the case because I'll just raise it back up. I can afford to outspend any of my competitors in the insurance space. And so I do that when I start running ads again. It's hysterical. And like it or not, it's a monopoly. That's the goal of business is to be a monopoly. Let's just be real. You want to swallow up the share and then distribute it out to your friends' businesses and starve your competitors. It's
That's the
let's just be
truth.
real.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
let me just actually, we're going to save that. The tactic I'm about to give you is what helped me. Let's just say when I had my agency of less than 10 agents, we were consistently outselling agencies of 1,000 because of the tactic that I'm going to give you in me and Victor's private training session that we're about to go into, which is going to be gated. So if you want to go ahead and opt into that, I'm going to post a link down below to where you can go watch the next 15 to 20 minutes where we're getting into the tactics of getting qualified customers into your world, into your book of business, getting seen from you and giving you money, doing business with you, exchanging, trading, bartering services and money with you. Because the tactic I'm about to give you has helped me change the way I advertise to get it in front of more qualified customers who are more likely to put out, so to speak, on the first date, who are ready to get married on the first date. And it's called stealing trust. And it's kind of like the P.T. Barnum approach. When P.T. Barnum first, have you ever saw The Greatest Showman?
I have not.
So it's a great movie about P.T. Barnum. He's a marketer at heart. He bought this circus, went into tons of debt, but he could not fill the seats up. And so instead of him trading the next 20 years trying to acquire an audience, he went and found someone who already had an audience and he bought his way in. Guys, money is used to be spent. It's a tool to be used, not a
Cool.
tool to be viewed. Me
Yep.
sitting around staring at my bank, it's never going to do anything for me. Victor, what do you use money for? Just buy stuff, right?
To buy stuff that's going to get me more money.
Yeah, and where you place your message, what surrounds your message is more important than the message itself. So the tactic I'm about to give you guys, along with stuff Victor. So go ahead and opt in below or go click the link. You're going to go type in your email. Me and Victor are going to send you some really cool stuff with our emails. And there we go. So before we do that, Victor, where all can they find you? This is going to be on the YouTube. Then we're going to go to the gated section of this, which is about to get really juicy for insurance agents.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Victor Gonzalez. You can find me on YouTube, Victor Julian Gonzalez. You can find me on Instagram at Vic Connects.
Awesome. Well, you guys go give him a subscribe, a follow, go opt in all of his stuff. His stuff will be down below. His information will be down below in the description. Go check on it, click it. Send him a message on Facebook. See if he can come in and help your business. It's what social media is for, right? To be social, to connect with people. We're not there to be strangers, okay? We're there to be visible. We're there to be visible. So with that being said, if you don't want to finish watching that, if you don't want to learn these super cool tactics me and Victor are about to get into, I have another YouTube video right here you can watch. And in the meantime and in between time, your number one fans in the stands, me and Victor are signing out. See you guys. Go watch this now. Now, for those of you who have successfully opted in, here's where the training starts. So let me just go ahead and get you a nitty-gritty tactic, just like I did earlier. First thing you can do to out compete with your competitors is immediately call your leads and say, hey,